Hello mi gente and welcome back to Nata Knows Best. So today I'm going to be making a delicious chocolate drink from Nicaragua called Pino Leo. So this is very similar to a cacao recipe that I posted a few months back, but instead of this recipe using rice, it uses corn. It is such a strong chocolate flavor and it is so earthy. I'm 100% confident that you guys are going to love it. So let's get into it. All right, so for this Nicaraguan Pino Leo recipe, obviously we're going to use cacao. Now, if you guys watched my Nicaraguan cacao drink video that I posted several months ago, you guys already know that I highly recommend using raw cacao, beans or nibs. I tend to use the nibs just because it's easier to break down because they're already crushed into small pieces. Now, you also need corn for this recipe. Now, the traditional recipe actually uses whole corn that you roast, but to make this super friendly and easy for everyone to make, I'm going to be using cornmeal. So, in addition to the cornmeal and the cacao, we also need our spices. So, for this specific recipe, I'm going to be using some cinnamon sticks along with some cloves. And if you have allspice, you can add that in as well. And then to sweeten our drink, we're obviously going to use a little bit of white sugar. So the first thing you need to do is toast your ingredients because that's how you build a strong, bold chocolate flavor. You need to toast everything. So I would go ahead and toast these up for about 5 minutes on low heat. So specifically for our cacao, you want it to turn a dark black, almost auburn brown color. And then you just want the cinnamon to really start becoming fragrant as well. All right, so now that I finished toasting our cacao and our spices, I'm going to add it to a blender along with our cornmeal so we can grind them up until they reach a fine powder. So this is still pretty hot. And remember, inside of this mixture, we have our cacao nibs that are raw, along with some cinnamon. I also added some cloves in there. And next I'm going to add my cornmeal. Now this is raw cornmeal. You can choose either white or yellow cornmeal. There's no real preference. And as a reminder, for all ingredients and measurements, I will be posting this recipe to my website, which is nataknowsbest.com. So now that we have both our cornmeal and our cacao along with our spices, we're gonna blend this up. Okay, so our mixture is a nice little powder. And now we're just going to add our liquids and our sugar. So the first liquid I'm going to add is some water. You can customize how much liquid you add based on how strong you want the chocolate flavor to be. So because I'm a chocolate fiend and I need all the cacao in my life, I'm going to go on the lighter side of liquids. Next, I'm going to add some milk. Another thing you can do if you want more of a bold flavor, you can choose to either do all milk or all water. I like to have my Pino Leo with a little bit of body, so that's the reason why I do half water and half milk. So to make sure this is blended really well, I'm just going to turn on the blender one more time and give it a quick mix. Perfect, that's all I really needed. And now I'm gonna add our sugar. So again, because I'm a fan of the natural taste of raw cacao, I'm only gonna add a little bit of sugar. Again, you can customize this. Let's give it a mix. All right, so we've completed our Nicaraguan Pino Leo. I cannot wait to try this, and I'm just going to add it to a glass that has some ice. This is like a distant cousin to the cacao, which if you guys watched that video, if you haven't, I'll link it right over here for you guys. It's not your average chocolate drink. In my opinion, it's a lot better because it's not as processed and it really is just the raw taste. You can tell that mine is definitely on the chocolatey side just based on the color. So I'm gonna give it a quick taste test and then we'll wrap this up. All right, mi gente, so here I have our homemade Nicaraguan Pino Leo. So good. The corn gives it so much more of an earthy flavor compared to the rice. The rice is kind of like a neutral flavor, and corn has more of an earthy tone to it, which really enhances the taste of the raw cacao. It's such a delicious, refreshing drink. Not to mention, it has so many antioxidants because of the raw cacao. I could literally go on about how delicious cacao is and how you should just really stick to the true raw form of chocolate instead of that processed cocoa stuff. So I will go ahead and link this recipe for you guys on my playlist, which is Nata Knows Nica. This is a playlist that's dedicated to all of my favorite Nicaraguan recipes. So if you guys are looking for a good gallo pinto recipe, maybe a good carne asada, maybe some queso frito with tajadas, whatever you're looking for, I definitely have it on that playlist. So go ahead and watch it. I will also be linking this recipe to my website, which is nataknowsbest.com. Stay tuned for next week for another delicious recipe. And as always, mi gente, thank you so much for watching Nata Knows Best. Salud.